Hello, everyone. Oh, my camera's not even where it's, what the heck happened here? Welcome. Tonight we are going to be working in acrylics. I'm going to be painting a Christmas tree, or we're going to be painting it if you're painting along with me. If you've not already, make sure to head over. The link is in the video description to get your reference photo for this and the line art if you feel you need that. This is a pretty simple design, so I'm not pre-drawing anything out myself, but those are available to anybody who feels they could be useful. And let's see, I'm getting over being sick. I'm no longer sick, but I still have the cough and things. They're like, you guys remember, what was that old movie, The Blob? Yeah, it lives in my lungs now. So, you know, that's always fun. After the live stream, Loki will be coming in here and opening his squawk. I say his squawk box, but technically it's French fries squawk box. French fries just not super interested in opening the box where Loki thinks it's a blast. So we're going to bring Loki in tonight, excuse me, later tonight after the artwork is done. And let's see what else. So tonight I'm working on a Fredrix. This is, oh, my light is kind of in a weird thing there. This is a Fredrix watercolor canvas board. As you can see here, super, super smooth. Now, before I get started, this is actually relevant, a good question I had from Kathleen emailed me earlier asking, why are you using watercolor canvas board instead of a cotton or linen canvas when you are using acrylic paint? So the reason, one, linen would be my preference. I love painting on linen. Linen's very expensive. And so I save all of my linen canvases, canvas boards, all of that I save for projects that I'm going to put a bit more effort into or a bit more time into than a live stream. A live stream, you know, we've got a 45-minute long project. So I don't want to use a more expensive canvas. The watercolor canvas, the reason I go with this versus the normal cotton canvas, this is super, super smooth. So it gives me a closer effect, or like it's closer to what I would get with a linen canvas, but for a fraction of the cost. So again, if I'm going to be putting a lot of time into a project, linen is my favorite, although I've done use the watercolor canvases on stuff that I did put a lot of time into. So I don't want to make it sound like this is limited to quicker, like only use it for small projects. It's just, it's super, super smooth and it's wonderful, a wonderful surface to paint on. So yeah, combined with the price point and then being a smooth surface, that's why I choose these versus like the heavier. I do have some because Fredrix had sent me a bunch. The normal, they're like 20 ounce, I forget what it was. They're Dixie cotton, like a real heavy duty, nice canvas board. But because of the way that I paint with fine detailing and smooth blending, a smoother surface works better. If you've got a canvas that has too much tooth, it's real bumpy, they're hard to blend, hard to get detail. So if you are struggling with that, there's a very good chance it's not your fault. It's the canvas's fault. So when I use the heavier canvas, like the ones that Fredrix, the other ones they had sent me, I put 2 to 3 coats of gesso, and then I sand it with about a 220 grit sandpaper so that it comes to a smoother surface to try to get it as close to the watercolor canvas as I can. So that's just a little bit about that. And just for transparency, I'm sponsored by Fredrix. They were already the only canvas that I used because I've had so many problems with canvases, like generic ones from Blick, from Michaels, from Hobby Lobby, Aaron Brothers when they were a thing. So many problems with them that I just don't have those problems with Fredrix. So I swore off years ago. I mean, gosh, when was that? 2013 or so, 2012, I swore off all the other canvases. So it's been a while. Okay, let's get started on this project. So why is this so dark in here? It's kind of, whoops, let's see if I can turn that on a little bit more. That's a little bit better. Okay, so I am going to start, and you don't have to use the same colors as me. You can use any colors that you have available. You can use totally different colors than what I'm going to use. But what I'm going to do is my background is going to be in phthalo blue, black at the top. I'm going to fade down to a little bit more of an aqua color here, and then we'll get into the snowy, the light blue. But I'm going to not even really worry about the blue right now. I'll paint the snow after. So let's go ahead and there's my paintbrush. So as always, I use water. I thin my paint down. This is Liquitex Basics paints. I thin this down with water all the time, all the time when I'm working with acrylics, unless I'm using a palette knife, in which case you want it to be thicker, and then Liquitex Basics are not going to be my first choice for that. So I'm going to start with my blue, and actually let's just make this easier and cover the entire canvas with phthalo blue and not even worry about blending yet. This way, I'm not fighting the white of the canvas. And when I go to blend the colors where I'm fading from the dark, the black down into the dark blue, it's just going to make my life easier because there's no more white of that canvas. So let's just throw that on there. some more water. You can see I continuously dip that brush in the water. And I'm going every which direction because I'll smooth that out later. And if it does start to dry too fast on you, use a fine mist sprayer. These things are wonderful. I can just lightly mist that. I can keep that paint wet for hours if I wanted to. Oh, is it not loud? Hold on. I actually think I can fix that. I was having a lot, yeah, that's the reason. That should fix it, the audio. I was having a lot of problems with microphones last week, so when I was trying to record, if you heard the videos I uploaded this week with my frog voice, the microphones went out. It was a whole thing. So yeah, well, hopefully this one will work throughout the night. Okay, now I'm going to take a mop brush. So it's actually a powder brush, and I'm just gonna soften that out a bit. Actually, this one looks like I didn't clean real well, so it's creating scratchy marks because it's not perfectly soft, but whatever. We're going to be covering all of this, so nothing needs to be perfect. Now to clean these brushes, all I need to do is dip the very tip of the brush in the water. You will occasionally see people use a mop brush to apply paint to the canvas. It doesn't make the work any better than using a normal tack bristle filbert. The problem is, and it doesn't make it worse, I mean, you can do it if you want, but the reason that I do not recommend, I mean, there are a lot of videos with people who are actually really good artists using these brushes and applying the paint, going in circles, and look how soft it is. Apply the paint with this brush that doesn't absorb all the water and all the paint, and blend it with this brush. What happens is these brushes will soak up paint like crazy, and they're a pain to clean. If I'm only having to clean the tips, you're having to dip the whole thing in water and get it all wet. It is going to take forever to dry. It's just going to be a hot mess. It's not making your life any easier. It's actually making it worse, and you're wasting a crap ton of paint, which I don't know who can afford that these days. So I just, in this case, because I'm blending that way, it's only for blending. Only the tips of the brushes are getting wet, so I can rinse it off and then just dry it, and it's ready to go. And let me dry this. We'll do this in two separate things. We've got two super chats. I got to say it quiet for the so the boys don't hear till I announce it. The first is from Kirsten, I got it wrong again, who said, "Merry Christmas, Lockery family. Thank you so much. Do you boys want a super chat?" That is a yes. Where did I put them? I had another bag I put in a more convenient place, but I don't know where that convenient place was. I just remember thinking, oh, I should put this here. It'll be easier. And I don't know where that here was. Thank you so much. I'm going to make them, oh, let's see. Is there a bug in the description of the auction not shipping within the US? Yeah, it's a bug. It's only shipping in the US. Only the US. Lay down, down, down. Go lay down, down. Okay, so yeah, it should let you bid if you're in the US, no problem. That is probably just a typo. Also, if you want to bid on this painting, if you want a Christmas tree for your house that's going to live year round and not start fires or anything, this is available. I think the starting bid is $70 on this. The link is in the video description. Gibson down. He's not laying down because he knows another one is coming. Down, Gibson. No, you're not going to start this. I'm not listening. He has been, sighthounds are very, very stubborn, and they'll go through these stages where you give him a command. He knows what it is, and he'll just stand there and look at you. I'm just going to do what I want. He's been in one of those moods lately. So if I have to use mean mom voice, you know why. Let me go ahead and dry this. Now, I don't know if it's, yeah, you can see on the camera. See how it's really dark? I've got a ring of, none of that matters, even a little bit. This will be completely covered. And with all the layering we're doing on top and the snow, all the sprinkles, you're not going to notice any of that. So that is not something that I would waste any time trying to perfect. What you do want to make sure, though, is that this is completely dry. If you touch it and it feels, once it cools, it's an easy way to kind of tell if it's wet or not. Once it cools, if it's still sticky or tacky, at least if you're using Liquitex Basics, or if you can kind of feel cold spots, it's not completely dry. If this is not completely dry and you put another layer on top, if you were to kind of if you're doing a light layer, it won't really matter. But if you start scrubbing, like using a brush like these, and you're, really scrubbing in there, that first layer will start to lift off. So we want to make sure that first layer is dry. And in the meantime, I need this to cool before I can do the next layer. So we've got a super chat from Pauline who said, puppy snack time. You want another super chat? I think that's a yes. Back up. You're so smart. God, Gibson is smart. Like, I never taught him back up, but I can say it. I'm telling you, that dog used to be a person, and he pissed off a witch, and she turned him into this. Because he creeps me out sometimes, like, just normal conversation, because I talk to my dogs all the time, and I swear he responds like he understands things he should not understand. Look at him going to lay down on their own. That's surprising. Gibson weirds me out sometimes with how smart he is. Bad Cow, on the other hand, not the brightest bulb, and I've got rocks that are smart. Poor Cow, him's not very smart, huh? But Gibson is like crazy smart. Like, it always surprises me, the backup comment or command, that he knows it, because he shouldn't. No one taught him that. He's just a smart boy. Okay, so now I need to go, now that I bragged about my dogs, we're gonna put some aqua blue. I think this is bright aqua green is what this is called. Yeah, so just super bright aqua color. I'm gonna use this at the bottom. So what I'm gonna start with is blending the black into the blue. So I want dark, dark, almost black blue, like super, super dark back here. Oh, that is old black paint, so it might be a bit too thick. I may have to, we'll see if it's too thick and I have to add more black. I'm just gonna mix that in, and again, oh, you can't see what I'm doing, because there we go. And I'm gonna start at the top. See how, like, almost completely black. It's actually a dark navy, but I want it really dark. And as I move my way down, I'm gonna add more and more blue before I switch. I'll rinse the brush before I switch to the aqua. So now I've got more blue. It probably just looks black on camera. I'm gonna rinse the brush because I've got so much black and blue on there. And now I wanna start switching to where I've got more blue. So we'll just start pulling that up. We're gonna let these two, oh, I need more black than that. A little too soon there. There we go. Now I'm gonna make sure that I'm continuously going side to side. So if I've got streaks like I do here, good, it just looks like a streak in the sky. Like it makes sense. If you start doing vertical or diagonal lines, like I'm gonna do right here because I need to blend that out. There we go, now I need to straighten it out. It'll start looking weird. So we'll just pull that down. And I need this to stay soft, so I'm gonna mist that, or stay wet, because I'm gonna have to blend that. Oh, I see that, Michael. I will get you in just a second. Wow, that's huge. Wow, thank you. Let me get down a little bit further so I can dry it, and the pups will get there. I can't say it out loud. Okay, I'm gonna rinse that brush so that I don't have the black in it. Because if the black mixes with the aqua color, I'm just going to get a very gray tone. Anytime, so the reason for that, let me explain why. The aqua has white mixed in it. In order for it to be this opaque and to be that light, it has white. Whenever a color that has white mixes with black, you're going to get a grayish tone. It'll be an aqua gray, but it'll still be kind of grayish, and that is not what I want there. I just want it a little bit lighter to fade up into that blue. Chunk of paint right there. That's why that keeps pulling in. And while that's still wet, I'm going to take a clean brush and I'm going to do this in little half circles. I just want that to be soft. It doesn't have to be perfect because the snow is going to cover, and the snow and the tree, between both those, it would cover any major streaks or issues you didn't like. Mine's more aqua than it looks on there. You're on the screen. The teal colors just do not pick up well on the camera. I'm going to rinse this brush so it's ready to go. Now, whenever you use these brushes, like mop brushes, I always recommend having multiples. You can see I always have a lot, because they will, when they're wet, they don't work. They need to be completely dry. same thing. This brush got a few chunks from the edge of the canvas, so it has a little bit more paint on it than I would like, which means I have to put more work into cleaning it. See, this is why you don't want to use them to paint. It would be even worse if I had actually applied paint with it. Okay, that one's wet enough now. I probably won't use that again for this live stream. Now, I'm going to take the paint that's already, oh, I don't even have white paint on my canvas, or my palette. Words are hard. And I'm going to pull some of the grayish blue color. So here's the thing with snow. We have a tendency to think, snow, paint it white. No, don't do that, especially not at night. There will be areas that have more white, but really it's going to be more grayish blue. We want that to be fairly dark. And that way we can put some highlights with white, but we don't want that much. So my reference photo is actually just kind of a Photoshop version of Photoshop. There's some digital painting over a photo that I edited all to heck, and so it's not super like realistic, because that's not the look I was going for, but I still wanted something to use as a reference. And I'm just going to keep that really soft in the background so the snow just kind of fades off into the distance. Pull it up a little bit higher. You can see that sky is still wet, but if it starts to dry, all I have to do is put a mist it with my fine mist sprayer. And that, let's get some white now. I'll start pulling a few highlights. I can always add more later. But I'm going to take some white. Jason said, how about some yellow to go at the base of the tree? No dogs have fouled this tree. We will not be having yellow snow. I'm just going to put like a little bit of light around where the tree is going to go. Let that fade out a little bit. And I'm going to take a clean brush, clean mop brush, and just soften that a bit. Okay, and before I forget, actually rinse that brush, because that is what I tend to do. Like, just use it a little bit, and then I forget to clean it. And that's how it ends up hard next time I go to use it. They're easy to clean. I just clean them with my brush cleaner, my, what is it, the Old Masters or something like that? The Masters, I don't know. Brush cleaner, and it'll get the old dried parts off, so it's not like they're ruined. They don't work this moment. Okay, and while that dries, let me dry it real quick, actually. Zayla just had the best idea. They said, I think you should modify your merch to say painting is easy, words are hard. Oh, we need that sweatshirt for sure. We are like, absolutely, I'm doing that. That is such a good idea. Okay, and we had the super chat from Michael, who said, Merry Christmas, another great year. Thank you. Thank you so much, Michael. Boys, would you like your super chat? There you go. Good boys. Thank you so much. Oh, such a soft puppy. Can I just sit here and pet your ears? Well, you guys don't mind, right? We don't need to pet. I'm just gonna pet puppy ears. Go lay down, down. Sorry. Coughing is my life now. It's actually gotten so much better the last couple of days, though. Gibson, lay down. Down. Good boy. Okay, next we are going to do the backgrounds now. So we'll, this is terrible. We will end up doing, I'm going to end up choking to death, is what I'm going to do. We're going to do background snow, so it's a darker color, and then once we get our tree in, we'll do lighter colored snow, so it looks like it's more in the foreground. Well, in the foreground. So, and we'll definitely be making some of this lighter. That's just our base there. Okay. Snow. That is what we're doing. So what I'm going to do, I will mix my snow colors with one brush, and then I'm going to take a stiff brush, a stiff, dry, like these cheapy, super cheap brushes. The old, like more damaged they are, the better they work. So I never clean them super well. I intentionally do not rinse these that well so they get damaged sooner. You can use an old toothbrush as well, but these are just what I go with. Now, the reason that I'm not mixing the color I want with this brush is this brush works better when it's somewhat dry. Once it gets wet, it kind of sops up too much of the water and it doesn't work as well. So let me grab a Tafflon bristled filbert. This large one I'm good with for now. Let's just put you over there. And we need to get this in a few different layers. So let's do this lighter color and throw some water in there. We definitely need water so that it'll splatter nicely. And I think this might actually be too dark, but that's okay because we want this in multiple layers. A little bit of water on that, not too much. And we're just going to flick this. I'm going to get load that again. Now this is going to add depth because we're going to have this in multiple layers, fading from this dark, dark blue up into our white for the up front ones. God, that was an eloquent way to word that, wasn't it? You're welcome. There we go. And these are very subtle. I don't need these to stand out a lot. And if a little get down in the snow, that's fine. There we go. Get some of that in there. I'm going to lighten it up just a bit. So we'll take that same batch. I'm going to add some white to it, some more water. Rinse that brush back out. This is a layer lighter. See what I mean by, now this could be stars, it could be snow. We could go either way on this one. Now I'm going to rinse that brush and set it to the side. Now one of the things that you may notice, because you can actually see my water container on this, notice that, where's my palette? My water, when I rinse a brush and I need to leave it out, I just leave it to the side. Don't ever leave it like that in there. Can you even see that? But sitting in there, that will damage the tip of the bristles really, really fast. They'll start to fray. And actually this one, I don't know if you can see, that one's pretty frayed at this point just from overuse. Well, if you start soaking it in there, it will damage that much faster. You also have these little things on the end you can stick it in. Not a great idea for storing, like it's the stupidest design because one, it's in your way. You line this with brushes, they're completely in your way. The other thing is that with brushes, the water, there's glue holding those bristles in there, and some of the glue doesn't play nicely with water soaking in it, so we don't want to set it upright like this to dry, where the water is going to run down in there and loosen the glue. So we just want to lay it flat to dry, where usually they're flat on my easel, but that is why you'll see it there and not in the water dish and not in these little stupid hole things. Technical term, little stupid hole things. Let's see. Stars would be, somebody said star, I don't know how to say what your name, something problem, would be behind the trees and snow in front. Not necessarily, snow would be behind the trees as well. So the stars would only be behind the tree, but snow would be in front and behind. You get it both. So there we go. Okay. Science. Green, we need green. So I'm going to do the tree we're going to start with a dark, I'm going to make a little bit of a more black color just so I know where it's going to go. You're probably not going to see it well over this background, but that is what we're going to go. Nick says, as a snow expert, it does in fact snow behind trees. Science. I always laugh, and I think when I was younger, I used to do the same thing. One of the funny things that people do a lot of times is paint clouds, and they'll have the moon in front of the clouds. Yay, science. Yay, public school system. I don't know what who to blame there. I did it too at one point when I was a kid. I'm pretty sure I have. Okay, let's see. What type of brush do I want to use for this? So many ways to go. So I'm going to use one that's kind of a rough frayed brush. You're pretty rough. Will you stay frayed? I have not washed you well. Might work for me though. So I'm going to use this tackle. It's not even what I want. What I want is a flat, stiff brush. Do I have one down here? So you can use, we have a tendency, and I know I certainly did this, we have a tendency to think if I had the right kind of brush, I would be able to paint like that person. The brushes really don't make that big of a difference, honestly. I can use this brush, I can use this brush. I mean, I can get the same result from either of these brushes. It's how you're using, how you're using the paint, and that is just going to come with practice. So don't work yourself up too much thinking I need to go buy every brush that this artist uses. Now to an extent, yeah, like tack lumber sold fill arts, you need those. These mop brushes, links are in the video description, wonderful. You're gonna need something like that. But I mean, for the most part, don't go crazy if you're watching an artist and they're using these super expensive brushes, with acrylics anyway. Now watercolor is a whole other animal and you do need expensive brushes with that. But with oils, with acrylics, you do not need expensive brushes. I don't use expensive brushes for like my stuff that I put months or weeks of work into. I use these same brushes. So don't feel like you need to run out and buy every expensive brush in the world. You absolutely do not. So what I'm gonna do is just dab. I'm gonna get some paint on here. I'm gonna start by, actually we'll start by doing a tree trunk. Now this tree trunk you are not going to see in the finished painting. It's just for me to know about where I want this to start and end. So I think that is going to be about where I want my tree. That's going to get completely covered. Don't worry if it's straight. Don't worry about any of that. Okay, now I am going to take black paint as my base layer, and I am just going to kind of map out about how I want my tree. I don't need it exact to the reference photo at all. That is just kind of a general guideline. Let's see, how wide do I want my tree to be? I want it at the base to come out to about, maybe some of these can be a little bit wider. There. And I want this to go, oh good, you can see this well, in sections. Now, right now, I would rather build it up to where it's a little bit, he could use some Rogaine for men, but I can fill that in more later. What you don't want to do, we'll start that first. This is not what we're trying to do, not one big glob. I want sections in here. I want to build this up. I would rather see you build it up slowly. And not, here's another thing we don't want. No straight, I see this a lot where it's just like straight lines. Here's your tree and it's just like these rows, straight rows. That does not look natural. We want variation. The variation is what is going to give us a more natural look in this. And again, this brush is super stiff. It's kind of, oh, that's too much water. I don't want that much water on there. So it's giving me these little frayed, can you see how like frayed those ends are? That is what we want to get this tree. Oops. Okay, now the center I can go ahead and fill in a bit more solid, not the outer edges. I want those to be more, think Charlie Brown. That comes to mind because Nick sent me that GIF earlier. GIF, I don't know, you decide. I think mine could be a little bit more full. He's a little bit too bald, so we'll start filling him in a bit more. But this is why you want to start lighter and then fill in, widen it up if you need to, because it's easy to make him wider. It is not easier to put him on a diet. I understand, Tree. I don't want to diet either. That's why I'm going to be having pizza after this live stream, because I make poor life choices. This is why my pants don't fit. Lotta said, thank you for all your effort, Lisa, and hi to the dogs. Thank you so much. And actually, that was perfect timing because we are done with the black fur right now, and I'm going to rinse that out. And we're going to dry this, and then we can give the puppies, I can't say the word. Okay. You boys want a super chat from Lotta? Thank you so much. Whoops, wrong camera. Back up. Back up. Look at him. Did you see him take a step back? You know, I used to have Italian greyhounds and I used to show them. I put so much work into teaching Jessie to step, one step forward with the front paw and then the other front paw because it was part of showing to get her perfectly stacked without me being with the parts where I'm not allowed to touch her. I spent months teaching her that. Gibson's just like, I'm a genius. I know what you want. Go lay down. Now, whether or not he chooses to do what I want's a whole other story. And he's got to stretch first. Okay. Now, we are going to start with a dark green. So when you do trees, bushes, grass, all of this, fur, I build this in layers. I'm going to start with my darkest in this case and build up lighter and lighter, doing less and less as I work my way up. So let's go ahead. I'll probably use the same brush for right now. You end up switching to smaller brushes for smaller details later on. Unless this is too soft. Is it too soft? No, it's not. Ooh, you might work for later. Okay, so now, oops, I don't even have the green out. I'm going to use Hooker's Green. My palette is a hot mess. And this may be, let's see if this is going to show up well or not. Yeah, that shows up pretty well. Now, my goal is not to completely cover the black. I need the black to show. You want both, you have 2 layers now. So each additional layer as I go on, I'm going to use less. So black was what I used most of. As I layer this dark green, I'm going to use less of this than I did of the black. When I go on to a lighter green, I'm going to use less of that than when I go on to the next one. Tamara, thank you so much. I can't say it right now. Hold on, let me get this layer of green. And then we'll while that dries, give the puppies their, I can't say the word or they're going to get excited. And now I am not pushing hard here. I'm just lightly dabbing, not stabbing. This is not going to get you good results. That gives you weird polka dots. So I'm just kind of going back and forth. Now notice that I keep twisting the brush as I go. This is going to give me different shapes. If you just keep doing the same brush stroke over and over again, 1 or 2 times it's fine, but you keep doing the same one and now you have a pattern. We don't want a pattern. It's really important. We need some of that black to show through. Don't cover all of it. I do want more green on the outer edges though, although we'll hit most of that with a lighter green. Okay, now we need that to dry, and then we get the treat for the pups from Tamara. I gotta say it quieter, they'll know. This shows a little bit more in person than what you're seeing with that medium green or dark green. Jen said, at this rate, the pups are going to need a full carrot. I may get them one at the end because we'll switch them out for Loki. I'll probably go get them one at the end. They should get one. I should have set up the goal. Do you boys want a super chat from Tamara? Tamara. I think I got that right. Whoops, wrong camera. There you go. Oh, that's good. Thank you so much. Oh, that's tasty. Yeah, I think you guys are gonna get a full carrot in a bit here. Go lay down. Lay down. Lay down. You got the best treat ever coming soon. They, like, seriously, a full-size carrot that they can lay down and chew on, like, it's the best thing in the world to them. It's their absolute favorite. And it's good for them. And it's like their teeth are looking, I think it's really helping with their teeth, too. So, I mean, not that their teeth were bad, but it's the constant chewing like that because they get a lot of carrots every day or sweet potatoes. Okay, next color. I have light olive green, so just a light color. If you don't have this, just add some white or white and yellow, white and red so that it's not too bright. Red will tone it down. If you have a color that, let's say you mix white with the green, now you've got a light kind of, it's a pretty green, but it's kind of your pastel green, but you want it to be a little bit more neutral. Add the complementary color to it. So in this case with green, if green is too green, if you add a little bit of a red, that's going to soften it and tone it down and give you a more of a, it brings it closer to brown, if that makes sense. So more olive green type. Okay, and that's why I still have red on my palette. This was from a previous painting, but I left it out because if I need to tone down my green, I'm going to need a little of that. Let's see how well this shows up. I might have to mix something with it. We'll see. Nope, that looks pretty bright. don't want to go too crazy with this one. That's actually almost a little too bright. If I go that bright all over, my twinkly lights are not going to show up well. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this with some green and a little bit of white. Let's make a little bit of a softer, let's go ahead and pull that red. I'm just kind of throwing some color in there. I want light or lighter than the green I had, but that is going to be too bright. If I go too bright, we aren't going to see the pretty stars. Oop, and I've got way too much paint on there, so I'm just going to stick my finger. Actually, the results I'm getting with that look great once I tone it down. Now even less here, so I'm not pushing hard. I'm just kind of lightly letting that touch, twisting the brush. I'm getting too much of a pattern though, so I've got to make sure to break that up, twist it more. Now, if you overdo with the highlights, it's not a big deal. I'll end up coming back through with some of the greens and other colors too, but do less and add more as you go will make your life easier. Now, right now, notice that it's even all the way through. I don't have like a light side, a dark side. I'm going to come through with a little bit of blue on this side so that this side's a little bit lighter, just because I think it'll look pretty. Not because that goes too close to the reference photo or anything. The other thing that you'll notice, my trees, I typically will make my trees droop down, whereas my reference photo up here goes up more. That's just how I like trees. I like droopy trees. So I'm going to make mine droopy. I guess if he had enough snow on him, he'd be droopier. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of aqua. And actually, I need to switch to a smaller brush now because that brush is getting to where it's too hard to control. I'm getting too much of a pattern that I don't want for smaller sections. So I want a little bit of aqua, maybe a little bit of phthalo blue. And we're just going to pull a little bit of the bluish tone on this side. We can even put a little bit of snow starting to build up too. The original photo that I edited had the whole tree was covered in snow. I took that out because if I do too much snow, we're not going to see our twinkly lights. Okay, let's get a little teeny bit of snow. I may change my mind. We'll see. I'm just going to get a little bit on there. For some reason, whenever I do something where I'm trying to do like a small area, I'm like just a tiny bit, I start whispering, and that is not helpful on a video. So just teeny tiny bit. I think I'm going to pull some more of the dark inside. So I'm going to go back to that black and blue. And let's darken up a little bit in here. Not too crazy. I'm going to use my finger and just tap that in just to kind of spread it around a bit. If you are working in oils, do not get in the habit of using your fingers. I was watching a video of an amazing artist on YouTube, I think it was Instagram, and she was painting in oils and she was blending everything, her clouds, everything with her fingers. That is a bad idea. Oils, one, let's pretend you're not, like, if every single color you use is non-toxic, doesn't have lead or zinc or any of that in it, okay, fine, but it stays wet, so now it's on your fingers, and it's so easy to end up with that all over your house, your pets, I know, because I did that once when I was first learning to oil paint. So fine for acrylics, not so fine for oils. Not a habit you really want to be in with oil paints. Okay. That looks a little bit better. See how it looks? It's just that shadow inside a bit more. Now I need to draw this completely. Did I say draw? Dry. I've been sick. I'm going to write off all my misspeakings as my brain is filled with the blob. I was so confused. I'm trying to read. There's a pop-up came up with YouTube, and it said automatic mid-rolls saw on average over a 20% uplift. It says in-stream. I read that as Instagram, and I couldn't get Instagram out of my head, and I was so confused why they were telling me about Instagram ads. Okay, focus. Let's go ahead and start adding. We've got to add the stars, and we've got to get a little bit more highlights and shadows and such around the tree. So I'm going to start with the shadows. I'm going to get a small brush and then another small brush to smush it around with. So I have one brush that I'm going to apply my shadows around the base of the tree. I'm going to start with the shadows behind it, and then I'll do a highlight in front. And then I'm just going to use any other brush, doesn't really matter which brush, to soften that. Actually, say it doesn't matter, but I think I'm going to use this one because it's a bit more stiff. And what do I need? Shadow. So same thing, the blue and the black mixed together. And I'm going to add just a bit of a shadow back here. And soften that out. I had to add a little bit more water to this brush because it was not blending well. Let's just pull that shadow down there, just to add a bit more that way, a little bit up here, soften that out. Okay, and now I'm going to, let's do a little bit more here. Jason said, I thought your issue with that issue with words was normal. It is. I feel like it's worse tonight, though. Okay, now let's get a little bit of a highlight. I'm going to rinse that brush off. I'm going to rinse off the one that I was blending with. It just needs to get more wet. Not so much rinsed. And we're going to throw a little bit of highlights here. And I'm just going to pull that out. Smudge the bottom. This brush has to be damp or it won't work. What's underneath this has to be completely dry or it will lift and make a hot mess. Notice when I'm blending are the outer edges. I'm not focusing right here, just kind of leave that alone. It's these outer edges that I want to blend. If you start blending and you keep focusing on this, what happens is this center, you push all the paint out and you end up with this ring around the edge. We want to focus on the edge, not the center. Leave the center alone. You might be wondering, where is this light coming from? I don't know. I'm making things up. This does not make scientific sense. Now, I want to add more white, but at this point, that is starting to dry, and if I add water or paint on top of it and start scrubbing like I'm doing, it'll just lift that right off. So I'm going to dry that completely with the hairdryer. Why can't I grab that? There we go. Nightshade that said the lighting is coming from the moon. Yeah, let's go with that. I like it. So again, I need a little bit of water on that brush. Car's headlights, Missy said. Something off screen, that's for sure, whatever it is. I'm going to go back over this, pull that out a bit more. And hopefully that was dry enough not to start lifting. I don't want to over blend this. That's another thing I often see people make, a mistake I often see people make when they do this type of blending is they overdo it. Just a couple brush strokes is all you need. We're just softening that out. We're not trying to blend completely, make it, there we go. I like that. Actually looks better in person than it does on camera. But there that is that one. Okay, so now we can start on our stars. I'm going to go over this again with the hairdryer just to make sure, because of the way I'm going to do this. I'm going to use raw sienna and white. At least that's my plan. I could change my mind. You never know. Okay, I'm going to apply it with a small round or a liner brush. Either would work. Now you've got a few ways you can do this. If this blending, smudging thing I'm about to do is just not working for you, practice on something else, like a cardboard or whatever, piece of paper that you've gessoed. And I say gessoed, otherwise everything soaks in and it doesn't behave the same as a canvas, so gesso first, then you can paint on it. If it doesn't work for you, you can just draw little stars, little lines, so like a cross, and then a little X in the middle of the cross is an easy way to make that look. But what I'm going to do, it's a little bit different. I'm going to mix my white and my raw sienna, so it gives me kind of a golden tone there. I may need this. That is going to need more water in it for sure. And then we're just going to pick our first star. So I'm going to do a dot, and I'm going to smudge that a little bit, or wet it with that. I'm just going to get the hair out of it first. Just smudge, smudge, smudge the other direction. This has to stay wet to work. I'm just going to smudge, whoops, straight little lines. Got too much water, so it's not working. This, the little X like I just did, that's an easier way to do this. I'm trying to soften that out a bit because I've got time, so I may as well spend a little bit of extra time on these. And then just little dot in the middle. We'll put up probably a white dot to brighten that up in the later. Whoops, not that button. What did I just hit? Stop it. Hit the right button, Lisa. Okay, let me do that again. Well, we're going to be doing a bunch of these, so you'll get some practice. And we want these in different sizes. Don't make them all exactly the same. It will look weird. We're just going to smudge, smudge. I just want these lines to be pretty straight. And it looks like I'm using straight white on there. It's not. This gives me that kind of off-white color. You could do this with yellow. You could do it with whatever you want. Let's do one right here. So I'm just going to do that dot. Smudge. Smudge. That one's a little weird. We'll fix that when I put the dot in it. Pull that out a little bit more. Jason said, can we see the tree on the screen in front of you so that the light is the light refraction is not showing? I have oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, hold on. Let me do that. You mean this? So you can see what we're looking at right now, what that looks like for me. So it's, there you go. That is what we're working with. Took me a minute to know what you meant. That's not unusual, is it? Again, if you're in the US, you can bid on this. I think I screwed up the listing and it says it's not available in the US. The US is the only place it is available. I can't ship outside of the US because the post office system is an absolute failure. There's no way, and I don't know how people, I mean, I know people send out into the US, no problem. It's when I send it out that I have an issue where it gets hung up for weeks. I can't track it. There's no way for me to, it's a nightmare. The cost is insane. So for now, I just don't do it, which sucks. Smudge and smudge, smudge and smudge. I find this to be easier than trying to just paint the perfectly straight lines. Just pulling that out. And I don't want them exactly the same. I prefer for one side to be a little bit longer than the other. You can do some little guys too, if you want. I'm going to do a bigger one up at the top. And a bigger dot right in the middle of that. I'll probably put a couple more little guys. You have way too much water in that one. Yeah, let's soak some of that up. That's gonna not play nice. I just tapped it or touched it with a clean brush. A dry brush would be easier. I have too much water in that mixture, so let's just reload that. I could tell because it was about to run or drip. Smudge and smudge. I think that works. Okay. Now you can see why I did not add a bunch of snow over, over the branches, but I can come through now that I can see the balance better, I may add a little bit of snow to them. But now it'll be easier for me not to go with too much and make it so that I can't see the stars. Okay, now we need snow on the tree, snow in the sky. Let's do the snow on the tree first, because I just want a little. Will you work? You might be a bit iffy. I'm just looking through my brushes to decide which one I think will be about the right size. I'm gonna go with this guy. See how little it is, and it's frayed and really stiff? That'll probably work for me. I'm gonna do some aqua in with the white, so it's not just straight white. And I tap that on my paper towel as well so I don't overdo that. I'm just going to get the tip of some of these. So it looks like the snow's just starting to settle on the tree. But I want the hint of snow, but I don't want it to overpower the stars. I want that to really be our focus more. Or the twinkly lights or whatever. Again, variation. None of these branches should look just like the other. You don't want to just keep doing the same pattern again and again and again. It will never, it's not going to look good. We want that variation where some are a little heavier, some are lighter. You've got to get variation to make things look natural. Okay, now the last thing is to sprinkle some stars. So I want a brush, I want a larger, more stiff brush if I've got one. Let's see, because I want the snow droplets to be bigger. Let's see how well this one works. And I'm gonna, so I've got this brush here, and what I'm gonna do is make my mixture first. So we'll go with some aqua, we'll get a little bit of navy blue in there. And then I'll do another batch where I've got more white. It's way too much water. Test it over here. Yeah, too much water. Whoops, that got green in it. Rinse that out completely. I don't want green snow. I mean, you can have aqua I'm okay with, but I don't want the green. Let's just wipe that away and start fresh. Let's pull it down in this direction. There we go. Rinse that brush. I'm going to test it off to the side just to see what, yep, my droplets are doing what I want. And now we're going to go ahead and, I need a little bit more water so the droplets are heavier. There we go. And these can be right in front of the tree too. Now I need more white. So we're going to grab a bunch of white, make a fresh batch. I'm reading about all of you guys talking about your storm you've got coming. You know what's crazy here in Texas? My crepe myrtles are just now turning their fall colors. I've never seen that before. Like, we are well over a month overdue on that. That's crazy. Like, it's crazy to think of, like, we're not even close to cold weather. I hope we have a warmer winter. I'm not a winter fan. I dread it all year round, and I'm in Texas. It's not even like we have real winters. Except for that one year we had the snowstorm or the ice storm. That sucked. Okay, so now we've got more white. I'm going to do a little bit heavier flicking on some of these so I get some bigger droplets. Like, see how these ones here? That's what I'm looking for. More like that. So I'm doing heavier flicks. That's it. I don't want more. I don't want to overdo it. Oh, I love this. Missy said I wouldn't survive in Connecticut. You are not wrong. I would not do well with a cold. Okay, now I need to sign this. And actually, I'm going to hold off. Well, no, I should go ahead and do it now. Now I am going to let that sit. See, these droplets are going to be wet for a very long time. I have to be really careful when I sign this, when I touch this, that those are dry all the way, because I can't tell you how many times I've smudged stuff like that. Okay, I'm going to get the boys a full-size carrot, and then we'll sign it, and then we'll do the swap for Loki and the boys. We'll be right back. This batch of carrots was extra fat, so I've been cutting them in half for their, quote, like air quote here, full-size carrot. Do you boys want a full carrot? There we go. Full carrot, sort of full. Oops, you didn't even see. I had the wrong camera. Full carrot. It's actually half a really large carrot is what they've got now. But to them, they're like, look how they grab them and take them straight to their beds. They're like chew sticks for them. They love full-size carrot time. Okay. Let's see. So now I need to sign this, and then we will, while they finish their carrots, I'll clean up my mess. Before we go get Loki, we'll do our squawk box. I've got I actually have the hard copy of a scam I want to tell you guys about that hits artists. So you definitely want to know about that. So all that is coming up in just a moment here. So let's go ahead and sign. I'm going to sign over here. Oops, that is too chunky. Whoever gets this gets my DNA, because I just licked my finger and wiped that off because I am classy like that. I need to test that. I had too thick of paint on there. There we go. Much better. Okay, now we will clean up the paint. I'll show you in the other camera in just a second here. Can you hear the carrot crunching? I don't know if the microphone picks it up, but those are happy, happy dogs right now. Okay, lid on the paint, get this out of the way so it's safe for Loki to come in. Oh, you're going to take forever on that carrot, aren't you, Gibson? We may be waiting a few minutes while he works on that. He is enjoying it thoroughly. Okay, water somewhere where Loki can't get to it. We'll just hide it back here. And let's see. May as well put all the paint away while I'm at it. Are you about done? You're still working on that. Oh, God, you're going to be working on that for a while, Gibson. How are you dragging that out so long? Do you not see it? It went under your leg. Oh, no, those are just, oh, no, it's in your mouth. You're so weird. Okay, paint out of the way. I have, and I'll show you in the studio tour that I keep re-recording, because I keep thinking, oh, I forgot about this. But I am using towel, I just got towel racks. It's a double towel rack and S-hooks to hang all of my paints. And I'll show you that when I do when I finally stop re-recording the studio tour. It is so, so convenient. Let's go ahead and I will show you this finished painting now. So here is the finished twinkly, it looks like glitter on there, the way the light's hitting for some reason. It's not glittery. I don't know why the camera looks glittery, but just the way the stars are picking up. Oh, that's kind of a neat effect. Huh. There is, wait, you can see it's a little bit brighter than what it looks like in that camera. There we go. Finished painting. Again, you can bid on that. Link is in the video description if you want to own your own Christmas tree, or you could have painted it. You can still own your own in that case. Okay, the Gibson and carrot is going to take forever. And I have to wait till he's done before I can bring Loki in. So the first thing, let's actually talk about the scam before, while we're waiting for Gibson to finish his carrot so I can get Loki. So these, I don't check my, my P.O. box like ever. It had been 3 years, it turned out. I started getting messages. The post office started calling me to come get my crap because they had a box for me. But one of the things I had a ton of, and this one's from October of 2022. It's like an official looking bill, right? Does that not look official? It says, let's see, marketing services. Oh, here's the other side of it. So again, it looks super official. For lacree.com, they are trying to get me to pay my annual domain name. Annual website domain listing, description of services from November 20 1st, 2022 through November 21st, 2023. Now here's the interesting point. That's not even when my website renews. That's not even the right month. They've got the website, they've got notice number. I mean, all this stuff on here. Total for annual term. Now I pay $20 a year for my domain name. They are trying to send a bill so it looks like I owe $289 in order to keep my website. This is the biggest scam, and it is very common. They don't just do it to artists, they can do it to anybody, but they sent it. It's funny because my P.O. box isn't even what's connected to my email address. Like nothing they did, they didn't do quite enough research, but it looks official. I mean, this is like an official looking bill lets me know how to pay, all of that. Basically, it would give them permission to steal my website. Like, let's pretend they're going to actually file the payment for me. And now $289 for a $20 bill, which again is not my company. Mine's through EMWD. I've talked about them before. They're trying to get basically control of that account. But the big thing is, let's pretend that they do register it and I still keep control of it, and it's just that I would be basically transferring it from EMWD to them. $289 a year. People are probably falling for this. It looks official. When I first opened it, I'm like, but I'm so familiar with who mine's through that it wouldn't work on me. But I mean, I could see where people would fall for this. I have a stack of these. There is a stack of different, they tried it for multiple months. Oh, here's one, Safe Domain wanted $295. Same thing. I mean, it looks super official. This one wanted me to return it by July 14th of 2023. And that's the funny thing is their dates that they say it was domain notice, instant pay link. They make it look like it's going to be late if I don't do it by this point. They've got all their, I mean, it looks like a bill. So that was one. This one, who sent this one? Domain Name Services wanted $265. Oh, they were going to give me a deal. Again, they try to make it, it doesn't, if you read the fine print, it's not saying you have to pay this or you'll lose your account, but it makes the implication. And a lot of people are going to see this and think, oh my gosh, this one was domainnetworks.com, Domain Networks, and another from Domain Name Services. I've got multiples of these bills that they kept sending me thinking they could scam me out of $300 basically. I pay $20 a year for my domain name. Like so you may start, if you've got a website, watch for those. It looks legitimate. It's not, it's a scam. And again, when I say scam, it's no matter what, it's dishonest. There is a possibility that these people are going to transfer your domain name and keep it up to date. That is possible. I'm not going to find out for $300, but the fact is it's very, very sleazy because it's not, that I don't actually have a service with them. So when you see those, be aware. Just know who you're actually signed up with for sure. Okay, they're done with the carrots. We're going to go ahead and get Loki. We're going to do the squawk box opening, and then I'm going to go through and we'll answer all of your art questions. So you two can come with me. Come on, boys. You are being evicted. Out you go. Gibson left carrot chunks in his bed. Okay. Whoops. Oh, where's your, well, I can't bring you without the perch. I don't know if you heard that screaming. That was Loki. Let me go grab his stand. No, you're not going back in, Gibson. Lay down. They'll probably both need to go out when I'm done here. Why are you still awake, Nugget? Go to sleep. Oh, yuck. There was millet all over the bottom. Lay down. Gibson, down. Wait, down. Wait. Oh, whatever. You're not going to listen. He's probably afraid of the noise, so. Okay. You want to come with me? Come on. Hi. Oh, and on the shoulder we are. Oh, and in my hair. You're going to poop all over me again, aren't you? Yeah, hi. Yeah, I'm happy to see you too. You want to open your squawk box? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, here is Loki. Loki, I mentioned on Instagram, I tell you guys what happened with him yesterday. He had to go to the vet. We had to get up very early to take him to a vet. We found a specialist. He drinks way too much water and goes to the bathroom way more, like just clear. There's so much. So that could be a sign of diabetes. It could be a sign of kidney infection. It could be a sign of a few different things. So we had all the tests run, and he's fine. He just apparently is a freak who drinks a lot of water, which means I get covered. Which means that is actually why I'm wearing a flannel tonight, because this is getting washed after. Yeah, I know. You want to see what's in the squawk box? So squawk boxes are a monthly subscription box. I buy these myself, but I do have an affiliate link. I don't know that the affiliate link is working, but they're, hey, don't bite my ears. Yeah, I'm going to give you stuff to bite. So these are a monthly subscription box. They come in different sizes depending on the size of your bird. For ringnecks, it says to go up to the medium size or one size up. I wouldn't. Ours, hi. I'm using this for cockatiel, so chicken. The 2 parrotlets, I just kind of spread the toys out. Everybody shares, or I rotate them. And for the ringnecks, so if you've got a conure, I would also say the small size is probably appropriate because you want toys they can shred. You don't want a toy that's so big and chunky that they're not able to destroy it. If they can't destroy it, it's not a good toy. So, hi. Oh, I'm sorry, we're supposed to be playing peekaboo. Is that what you wanted? Okay. Peekaboo. Does that make you happy? Peekaboo. You're funny. Oh, again? Okay. Peekaboo. We have to open the box. No more peekaboo. So this month's theme is clearly Christmas, which I was expecting. I know, all the kisses. Love you too. So you want to look at it? Or you're going to give it a kiss? You giving that kisses? You're going to bite it. Yeah, and kiss it. You're doing all the things. So it tells you about what the treats or whatever comes in. What? Don't bite me. So let's see. One of the things I love, and I always save this for the birds, see the little shredded paper? My parrotlets especially love that stuff. So the first thing we've got, their Talon treats this year, or this month, are cloves. I'm sure the directions tell me what to do with these. Oh, hi. Oh, we're playing peekaboo. 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 You done? Okay. No, I don't want to keep playing peekaboo. Let's see your new toys. So the next thing we have, oh my God, this is so cute. I've got to pull the stuff out of it. You want to look at it, huh? It's a snowman. And it's got like that stuff, I forget what this is made of, but it's like super easy for them to shred. So this is definitely, oh, there's a little snowman face. Oh, that's a good one for, definitely, I think you get to keep this one. This looks like one for you. Let's stick it back here. Let's put it on the perch. I've got too many old toys. You want to go up there? I've got tons of old toys up here I'm going to need to take down to put new ones up. Hold on, let me unscrew this. Okay. This was last month's, I think. I've got too many toys. I've got months worth of toys attached. There, you can explore that. Okay, what else do we have? Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Little Christmas wreath. Hold on, let me get it out of the paper. How cute are these little Christmas themed ones? I think that I'm gonna give this to French Fry because he can chew on the little bottom parts. Oh, that is adorable. And these parts they like. French Fry or Nugget will probably get this one. So there's that toy. Next we have a Christmas tree. This is definitely going to go to one of the ring necks because the wood is more for like ring. See, reds do not show up on this camera. These are bright red, not orange. But how cute is that? What you want to see that is that, what else do we have in here? Oh, my friend, I saw this in one of my friend's videos. She has, gets this for her parrotlet as well. I saw it in the cage. So this is the only toy I had seen. How cute is this? Oh my gosh. This is definitely, God, I can smell the pine. It's a candy cane. It's bright red. It doesn't look like it in this. With little bells. Now, I will take the bells off. I don't like my birds to play with metal because bells like these oftentimes will end up causing, if the bird keeps playing and chewing with it, can cause different metal toxicities because they're not actually stainless steel. So I personally remove bells. Although this one has a bell at the bottom, but no one chews on it. He just slams the whole toy against the wall and he likes the sound, so I've left that. But he doesn't get it when we're not in the room, so I'm not worried about him really messing with the bell, but how cute. Ah, that's adorable. Is that everything? Oh, I'm definitely keeping this bag. The crinkle, parrotlets love crinkly bags. Nugget will love that. Is that everything? I think that's everything. Okay, I'm not gonna put that over there too. You got enough toys to play with. You gonna sit back there while we answer art questions? Okay. So yeah, these are fun. Missy Tammy said, my bunny would like that. I wonder if they have ones for bunnies. That would be cute. Are you trying to reach the box? Do you want to go up there? You can go sit up there. He likes to sit on the boxes. I don't think you can see him. There. He's going to sit there and play with, oh, yeah, he's going to play with the paper. Shocker. Gold paint for Star. For the painting, it was raw sienna and white. So it's very, very light kind of cream is what that ended up coming out with. Unless you're talking about the bird toy, in which case, no, it was just yellow. Okay. What? Well, did you want to say hi? What are you doing? You're just going to sit there? Yeah? Is that fun? What are you doing? Okay. So now, art questions. Can you be good while we answer art questions this time? Iced tea, by the way. Twinings, cinnamon, and orange tea. I make it as iced tea. I like it hot or iced, but I just love it as iced tea. It's like my favorite thing in the world right now. I definitely recommend it. Okay. Better not knock that box over. What? Okay. Jen said, if I paint in oils and acrylic, should I use all separate supplies? I know brushes, yes, but what about glass palette, scraper, palette knives, etc.? I would. Because it's not that much money to have a separate palette, and you're gonna get oil that doesn't get lifted all the way or doesn't dry all the way. I wouldn't even risk it. Could you technically get away with it? Probably, but it would be so inconvenient to make sure it was completely cleaned in between. I personally wouldn't. He's sitting here knocking on, the knocking is him knocking on the, you knocking on that? You gonna knock for him? Oh, you're just gonna scream? Thank you. That's always pleasant. That, by the way, sounds not that bad on your end. On my end, I no longer can hear out of that ear. It is a very loud scream. Okay, but yeah, no, I would not use the same of anything, because if a little bit of oil isn't quite dry, no. If it's a little bit, you don't want that mixing with your acrylics. I just don't think it's worth the trouble. Second question, can I use the same jar of OMS for blending colored pencils and oil paint, or should I have separate small containers for each? I use separate for each because I use a smaller one for my colored pencils anyway, and my oil painting one gets so much oil buildup, like a lot. It's a sludge. It's a thick, like seriously a thick sludge at the bottom. So I don't want that on my, of all the things that came in that box, you want the bag. Are you serious? Of course he does. That is, oh, here. Oh, you can see his tail. No, you don't need this bag. I'm gonna save that for Nugget. Give me that. And he found the sweet potatoes. Here, you want sweet potatoes? Come here. Of course he doesn't. He wants the ones that are in the bag. There, we'll see if we put them there, if he'll, no, give me that. Oh, hold on, let me move a couple things off my desk that he is definitely like the pan pastels. No, you can't have pan pastels. Those aren't for you. Turkeys can't have pastels. What else is up there? I don't think he'd ruin anything else. We'll let you play, but be good. Behave yourself. Oh, let's move these paintbrushes too. Okay. Yeah, he's attacking paper towels now. Let's see. Yeah, separate container for sure for each. No, we're not eating plants. You don't get, I'm going to have to come get you. You can't hang out up there for you, and then you pooped on it. Hold on. Let me clean that before you walk through it. Oh, look, it's straight water. The reason you went to the vet. We're all shocked. Okay. Where did my phone go? Okay, Kathleen, we talked about that with the canvas. DJ said, hope you're feeling somewhat better. I am. I sound terrible still, but I feel way better. The bag is open. Just eat them. If you want to eat them that way. Wrong thing. There you go. You can have that sweet potato. Okay, let's see. DJ said there are a lot of people sick around here too. I'm trying to avoid it. Yeah, it came out of nowhere. I'm not even sure what where I was exposed to it. I never leave the house. Well, Matt gave it to me, so that's how. You're just going to take them out and throw them? Are you serious? What are you doing? You can eat those, you know. Let's see. Hold on one second. It sounds like one of the dogs is ringing the bell. Let me make sure Matt is letting them out so we don't end up with someone going on them. Matt? Hold on, guys. Matt apparently did not let the dogs out like I asked them to, and now they're demanding to go out. Matt! Great. Come on. He owes me for that. You guys heard me ask him to let the dogs out, right? I'm going to have to go let them back in just a second. And I lost my phone. Where did I put my phone? That has all my questions on it. Oh my gosh. I can't focus. I lost the phone. Did I take it with me? No. I know better than to leave it where you can get it because you like to remove the case. Let's see. Where in the world did I put my phone? Yeah, you sit there and knock on that. Here, keep everyone entertained. Whoops, wrong camera again. Keep them entertained while I go find my phone and let the dogs back in. And, oh, there, I found my phone. We're one step closer to, let me take 2 treats for them to let them back in the house because apparently Matt's not going to help. Clear. I'm going to assume you both went, so there you go. Good boys. No, you can't come back in here. Loki's in here, who I left unattended, which was always dangerous. Okay, let's see if we can focus and get some art conversations going. My gosh. Also, just because I'm a jerk, let's text Matt, thanking him for letting the dogs out. It's not passive aggressive at all. Okay, here we go. Back to questions. Now that I'm done being passive aggressive. He knows I'm live streaming and I asked him. Let's see. You're gonna just take the bag. Okay, well, have fun with that. Let's see, here we go. Zay said, shout out to you, Lisa, for still streaming when you're under the weather. You're an artist who's built for tough. Thank you. I technically, we're just gonna watch you play with the bag. Are you serious right now? Technically, I canceled last week because I was too sick. Kathy said, art question, do you know if you can make prints from round canvases? So you can, and it depends on who you use. Some companies will cut things in different shapes. The way that I've done with prints is just leave the outer edge white. I think I have some options where you could do black, but leave it white, and then you've got the circle in the center. You just need to make sure the cutout is perfectly round. Some companies might cut it round. I'm not. You'd have to look into that. But just the other thing that I've done when I do postcards, which we can open, by the way, our Patreon postcards, I've got some of those in there, and one of them was round. And I'll show you, yeah, we may as well. I wasn't going to open it because I'm late on getting those out, and I didn't want to point out how late I am. I just need stamps. Stamps just came for the last batch for August that should have gone out in September. That's how late I am. So the September, they're coming. I'm working on it. It's one of my things I'm working on. Let me grab that box. We can open that because we have time, and we'll watch Loki play with his bag. I just have to make sure he doesn't actually start shredding pieces off of it. Then I have to take it away from him. Okay, so I have, oh, I don't have the stickers though. They're not in here. Are they in here? I don't think I brought them in. I think I have them somewhere else. I don't actually know where I put the stickers. So with, for Patreon, if you are members over at Patreon, you get access to all over 400 of my lessons. The longer they're like 1 to 2, sometimes 3 or 4 hours long. Some of them are really long. You get access to all those instantly when you sign up. And then depending on the tiers, if you want to get a higher tier, you can get postcards or even mini prints and stickers sent to you. So these ones, I don't have the stickers with me, but I can show you. I haven't even opened these yet. But this kind of relates to the question about the round canvas. One of the things that I do when I do have a round canvas is to cut it. Is it this one? No. I think. Why did they separate these into little packs? You don't get this. This is not for you. Oh my gosh. I don't know why sometimes Vistaprint does this. Usually it's one big stack. They separated it into little teeny stacks of 10. Why? I ordered, what, 250? I don't know why they did that. Let's see. Oh my gosh, 250 stack. Oh, this one's a big stack. Why? What? Wrong camera. Like, same one. I don't know why this is little. What are you doing? Oh my gosh. These are, it's making it really hard to find things. Okay, this is kind of annoying, whoever did this. What else do we have in here? You can't have one of these. Okay, this is the one that I was looking for. Let's put these away. The other ones are in big stacks. I don't know why they did that. And then we've got our mini prints. So we'll open those separate. Oh, I'm not putting these near you, sir. You've got scissors on your face. He's trying to look over the edge. I don't think you can. He's trying to look over the edge where I'm putting all of these. Yeah, Mr. Scissorface, you are not getting these. Okay, so this is the one that I was looking for. This was a round canvas, or is a round canvas, but I printed it. I don't have scissors in here, do I? I got a razor blade from a scraper, though. I might be able to kind of use this. So this is a round canvas, and I had it printed square. So I cropped it, and I had to do some Photoshop to make it fit right. So I will occasionally do like digital painting around an edge to make something that was circle fit a square size or rectangle size. Oh my God, now he's letting them out. Hold on. Hold on, Loki. They already went. He's out there. Oh my God. Hold on, guys. They already went. I had asked you to let them out when I came in. Oh, Lord. Okay. You're being kind of good. I keep leaving him alone in here. That's always dangerous. So there was that one. That was one, and Loki just flew off. So the back of these, this one, they always have like a little art quote or whatever. These are the postcards that go for the $9 tier or up. Another one that I got. Come on. Come out of there. Last week, well, not last week, the week before, the painting that I still need to ship, I just got it varnished though, so that's ready to go now. The penguin, we have, that one is going to be coming soon. We've got, where did I open? Oh, here's what I opened it with. You cannot have the razor blade. That's even worse than your scissor face. No, don't get so excited. He's super excited about that. Look at him look down there. He's like, no, but I would like that. Oh, I messed up my camera. We've got the rose. I think it was a rose. What? I hear you. You're going to eat that? So that one is coming soon. I know you're just going to throw things over the edge, aren't you? Birds are as bad as cats. Well, more destructive. Okay, I think, is that, oh no, I've got one more of the postcards that are coming soon. What are you laughing for? We've got the Gala Cockatoo. This one was an ink tints lesson. So that one is coming. That one is going to be February. That one won't get shipped till not 2. Okay, now let's look at the mini prints. So this is the top tier. I don't have the stickers in here, so we won't be looking at those, but we can look at the mini prints. So the top tier also gets a mini print and a sticker. So this won't go the same month as the, oh wow, that printed nice. So the Gala that was the postcard, one of the months coming up, the mini print is also the Gala, but it's the original like size, the stretched out version. Oh, that printed really, this is why one of the things I love so much about Inktense is like it photographs, it looks just like the original painting. It photographs so well for prints. Okay. Next, we have oh, I'm excited to see this. Do you guys, some of you have been around long enough, you may remember the old, the way that I used to do live streams years ago, one project would take me months. We just kept working on it and working on it. This was one of them. So they were more detailed. There we go, you can kind of see. I have always loved this one I want to frame. I think I may keep this paint original. I don't know. I think it's on my website available for sale, but I kind of want to keep it. So clownfish, flamingo, flower, seahorse, and grapes. I love this one. And it printed so pretty. And so these are all printed through Vistaprint. What? This one I need to get sent out in the next week or 2. We're not putting holes in my stuff. Come here. You go up. Come up here. Starting to put holes in my belongings. Okay. Oh, I can't get it. Wait, there's the back. There's the next mini print, and that printed so good too. So these are your thicker kind of cardstock. Yay! So that one will be coming. What else do we have in here? I want to take this off. That's going to bend them. That was that one. And then this one went with the, I think this is the last one. This one went with the other one. I had done several pieces like that. This one has the Gouldian finches and a red-eye tree frog. And let's see, magnolia and bubbles. So yay, those will be coming to you guys soon. I just need to actually do them. I'm going to slide you back, don't freak. He actually likes rolling around on this. When you roll him from one room to another, he gets super excited about it. He thinks that's all kinds of fun. Okay, we'll bring you over here a bit more. Oops, my carpet just came up. And do you have enough toys to play with? Are you good up there? Okay, more art questions. We've got a half an hour, guys. Please bring me more art questions. Tamara said, what brand of paints do you use? So it depends on the medium. For acrylics, I use Liquitex Basics. And I use those not because I'm cheap. I mean, it's an added bonus. I use them because they just work well for my techniques. They dry fairly flat, as you can see on tonight's painting. I mean, there's not a lot of gloss to it. Okay, the sparkly thing is just a weird thing the camera's doing with the stars. But they work so well for my techniques. So acrylics, Liquitex Basics is my normal go-to. For airbrush paint, I use Golden's, their high flow, whatever, I can't think of the name right now, but Golden's airbrush paint. For oil paints, I use either Winsor & Newton Artist because they were just easy to get. Every store had them. But those, I've got Grumbacher, I've got, who's the other one? Gamblin, I think I've got over there. Those are my normals. They're not as expensive. There are other paints like Old Holland and some of these other ones that are super nice. So expensive. I can't afford them. So these ones work fine for me. So those are what I use for that. For watercolor, I have Schminke. For, of course, Inktense or Derwent Inktense. I think those are all the paints that I use. Missy said, how much time does it take for you to take care of all your babies every day? Oh God, that's a long. So in the morning at 11 is when all the birds get uncovered. So it takes me about 20 to 25 minutes to get everyone uncovered and serve them their vegetables. They get a veggie chop. So I have that all pre-made. I make a batch that lasts, I keep it in the freezer for a few months, and then I just have to defrost it. And they get that and Bird Street Bistro. Oh, you're already enjoying shredding that. They get a product called Bird Street Bistro, which is like rice and beans and stuff like that. That's mixed with their veggie chops. So they get that. I have to make sure Matt changes everybody's water before he goes to bed, or his birds. He's at work at 11, so that's why I have to uncover his too. So get everyone, about 20, 25 minutes to uncover everybody. At that point, we have to do a cycle. So he comes out and sits on this perch while I'm uncovering everyone. Chicken comes out and stays out until he starts screaming his chicken face off. Chickens are cockatiel. I usually leave him out while I go do my birds, my canary and my parrotlet, French fry and tuna. I get them uncovered, get them fed, let them out of their cages. They hang out just free flying in my office all day. Get them set up. By then, chicken's usually screaming his chicken face off, so I go put chicken back in his cage so he can have his breakfast. So it's like you're just kind of cycling through. We have to play big chicken first because that's just what you do with chicken before he goes in his cage. It's just me flapping my arms like an idiot, saying big chicken in a high-pitched voice, and he says it back to me while flapping his arms. He does not look like an idiot when he does it. I definitely do. But we do that. Let's see. Then the birds are set minus just, and at that point I have to let Sushi, the female ringneck, she has to come out of her cage, and I chase her. I will follow her around the room and pretend I want to pick her up, and she'll fly to the next spot. It's like a game we do, and it gets me to get her. It's how I get her to keep flying, so she gets some exercise so she doesn't scream all day. If she doesn't get to those chances to fly like 3 times a day, she'll scream all day. So I let her fly. Then let's see, who else? Dogs have to be fed. Their food is pre-made at that point, so I just serve. They eat raw, so it's like in a big, kept in the fridge at a big, it's like scooping up meatloaf for them, basically, but it's a raw diet they get. So they get fed. The dogs are the easiest of everybody. At 3, I go collect all the vegetables. You don't want to leave them sitting in the cage because they'll build bacteria, so I have to collect everybody's veggie bowls, switch them out for seed, or in his case, I'm trying to get him used to eating pellets. So we switch them out, refill pellets as needed. I have to do these rounds constantly. Let Sushi fly again. He wants me to stop and talk to him and say give kisses through the cage bars over and over and over until he gets bored. Then I take a nap at that point. This is just my whole schedule. In the mornings, I'm doing office type work, so I'm hanging out with French fry and tuna in the office while I'm doing editing videos and such. At night, at 1 in the morning is when I go through my frogs, my red-eye tree frogs and my dart frogs. They all their whole cages get misted, and the tree frogs, I refresh them with crickets, and twice a week, Glitch, I have to force feed her crickets because she's got a neurological disorder. She can't catch food, so she's my special needs frog, so she gets force fed. Once a week, all of my tanks, I let my nanos go every 2 weeks usually, but my big tanks, my reef tank needs to have a water change. My beta needs a water change. So beta takes 20 minutes, if that. The reef tank takes me an hour to 2 hours, depending on how much maintenance, like if I'm pulling a lot of bubble algae or whatever out of the big reef tank. So, and then the fish, during the day, they get fed. I have to change out their seaweed once a day. I have 2 fish that eat that, and then all my snails and such. This is the most boring conversation. I apologize if I've put everybody to sleep, but this is just what all of these animals take. And I feed them. They get frozen food only. I don't feed any of the dry flake food or whatever to my fish. My shrimp in here get that, but the fish get the good stuff, and so that's kept in the refrigerator. So I have to go to the refrigerator, take it, feed them 3 to 5 times a day is usually what I feed my fish. And is that everybody? Is that all my animals? So a lot of my day is just maintenance. And that doesn't count cleaning the bird cages. So Fridays are for my parrotlet and my canary. They get their cages stripped down and cleaned and scrubbed and everything out, besides like obviously every day changing food and water. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. The bearded dragon has been in, not brumation, it's the summer one. He comes out sometimes. So he's not been much. If he poops, I clean it up. He gets veggies. Lately, I've just been feeding him because he doesn't come out that often, so he's mostly been getting dandelions if he comes out. But is that everybody? Matt takes care of his crested gecko, and he does their cages. And then I mop the floor in the bird room and sweep every night. I have to sweep the bird room because there is seed everywhere. So yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot. You see cute pictures of these animals, but there is a lot of work involved in taking care of them. And the dogs eat twice a day. They're raw, but they're, like I said, the dogs are by far the dogs are the easiest. What are you doing? So let's see. Zay said you should do a collage painting of all of your animals in one piece together. They become a huge part of your artist brand. Yeah, I want to do some of them. I have paintings of like my old dogs and stuff that are no longer with us. So it's always kind of weird. I'm always like, I want to paint them, and if I lose them, I'm going to be so sad because now I've got this big painting with all these animals, and then like at what point do you have to, because dogs don't live as long as birds, and I don't know, it's kind of weird. So I don't know if I want to put them all together, but I do want I wanted to do a self-portrait, but more kind of surreal with like fish, some of my fish swimming around, and some of the birds that you guys see all the time. So yeah, I want to do that. But yeah, I don't want like a big painting with everybody because unfortunately, dogs do not live as long as birds, and I'm just going to be sad if I look at the painting. Like, I'm not one who wants a painting of my past animals. It just makes me sad. So, like, I wouldn't want it on my wall. I mean, so yeah, maybe that's just me. Let's see. Yeah, that DJ has a good point. She says, Lisa has no kids. These are all her babies. Yeah, and that's why I have time to do all of this, for sure. Do I plan on doing a New Year's live paint along this year? No. Is that on a Wednesday night? No, because fireworks, and my night is spent giving treats to Wade and keeping him calm and making sure neighbors don't burn the house down with fireworks. What day does that fall on? I mean, I'm home, so part of me says I should. Oh, it's a New Year's Day. Yeah, no, New Year's Day. Yes, I will be doing one then. The 31st I wouldn't have if it fell on the 31st. You want up? But the first, yeah, I'll plan on one for the first. No problem. Shouldn't be a problem with fireworks on the first, in theory. Don't eat my ears. Let's see. But yeah, the animal, oh, and I didn't even mention the jumping spider. So I have the like 80 or so babies. Every 2 days, 2 to 3 days, I have to go through, it takes me an hour to change all of the little paper towels with new paper towels that I cut in little squares, and give them all their fruit flies. And it's a whole, like, that one, at one point I thought that I might try to breed some of my jumping spiders because my one came knocked up. Yeah, no, I don't think I want to continue feeding spiders every 2 days. Like an hour every 2 days, I could put that time to like way better use. So I think I'll stick to, after this, just having a handful of them to keep as pets, but not breed. I mean, I didn't plan on breeding them in the first place. Mine just came, she had a good time at some night before she met me. Let's see. What? I don't want to play peekaboo. He's trying to play peekaboo. He's hiding. I don't know if you can see. He's doing the hidey thing. Nope, that's the wrong direction. I meant to go that way so you can see him better. There. Okay. What? Let's see. I'm just scrolling through the questions right now. And scrolling, and I think I'm almost caught up. Nope, that just jumped. Here we go. Fran said, I'm having trouble with photographing pastels. I don't have trouble with anything else. They seem to come out grainy, especially ones done on Me 10's paper. What am I doing wrong? Your camera is overdoing the detail in the paper, because the paper is grainy. What is that for? That was unnecessary. Stop it. Stop it. He does that for attention. Stop it. He's not actually biting. He's just knocking his beak against me. What? Seriously? Yeah? No. Weirdly enough, putting my hand in front of him like that, he doesn't like, and that has really cut down his screaming when he starts that. So him's a smart boy. He's like, well, I don't like the hand. Not a fan. Yeah. No. So that's why I do that. We were working on that. What? But yeah, your camera is pulling up too much detail. I don't take photos anymore with my phone because it's like it's hyping up detail that it shouldn't be. So I don't mean photos in general. Photos of animals are great, but photos of my paintings, they look like crap when I take a photo with my phone. I have to get my DSLR out. So I don't know what camera you're using. That will make a big difference. But I am finding that when I take photos with my phone, and it's supposed to be this great, the Samsung, whatever their high-end, their flagship model is. It's 2 years old, whatever. So it overdoes the detail, like by a lot. I used to be able to take photos for Instagram or whatever with my phone and just take a quick snapshot and I can't use that phone anymore. So I got that one in what, 2021? 2021? I don't know. I think that's when I got it. No, or 2022. No, my ear's in there and you're gonna accidentally hurt me. Be nice, boy. But yeah, it makes the detail so ridiculous if I try to take it with my phone. If I take it with my DSLR, it looks beautiful. It looks like what I see in person. But it's like, it's trying to pull out details that you wouldn't see. Like I can take, if you look at my Instagram, I have posted, I'm trying to think. Maybe it wasn't on Instagram. Maybe it was Facebook or something. I don't know. It could be Twitter. That will forever be Twitter to me, by the way. You can't just change it on me. But I posted photos of French fry, and you can see every line and every feather. Like, it's crazy the detail it pulls up. But it's hyping it up. There's a word for it, but it's like hyping up the detail in an unnatural way. So it looks kind of cool when you're taking a photo of an animal, not so much when you're taking a photo of a painting. So it probably is an issue with your camera, because like that cat that I showed you, that was on with Pan Pastels and colored pencil on Canson Me 10s, and it's beautiful. But if I would have taken a photo with my phone, I wouldn't even upload it because it would look so terrible. Which is so ridiculous, because this is supposed to be the best camera of any of the cameras they've ever made up to the point when I had bought the phone. Yeah, it sucks. So I'm going to guess that that's probably what's going on. It's not that you're doing something wrong, it's the phone or the camera. You can try to lower the detail, but I've tried that with my phone, lowering the detail, but I found that you are not going for my phone again, sir. Yeah, I saw you going for that. When I try to lower the detail with a phone app, like what my phone has done, it can look a little better, but it's still not great. But with Photoshop, or not Photoshop, with Lightroom, you can kind of lower detail a little bit. That sometimes can help, but the phone apps, I've just not been super thrilled with the results I got. Because of it hyping up detail. And they're like, you can't turn off the settings. That's what it does. Why are you hanging off my arm? You're making me hold it weird. All right, by MB said, just got here. The pups away. Yeah, we swapped them out. They were here earlier. We swapped them out for Loki, so he could come open this. Yeah, we could open the Smart Art box. You're using a Canon Rebel. I don't know anything about that camera. You shouldn't be having that problem. You may be able to, in Lightroom, then soften it a bit, soften the detail. I would do a Google search for that specific camera pulling up too much detail. The other thing, now here's another thing. Let's say you worked on a 5x7 and you blew it up. Your computer monitor is obviously larger and you blow it up. It's always going to look worse. Whenever you make the original look bigger, or take the photo and make it look bigger than the original, you're going to see every detail, every grain, everything. That may be your problem too. So like that kitten looks good because I did it on a big, it was a decent sized piece of paper. So when I shrink it down for print, it looks amazing. If I try to make it bigger than what my original was, it will always, always, always look worse. And it doesn't matter what camera, it doesn't matter. This is always, I always get people that try to argue this with me. No, the camera resolution, if it's a better camera or higher resolution, higher DPS or DPI, higher blah, 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 all that. DPS was my World of Warcraft talk coming in. Not damage per second, but it's not, whenever you enlarge something, the detail just isn't there. So in the original work. So it doesn't matter how big of a file it is, how many DPI, how many megapixels, none of that really matters because your image was little and you basically spread out. Think of all of those little lines as pixels. you can spread it out and make the pixels bigger, but now there's just a bigger gap in between each of those pixels. So you're just leaving more open, empty space. So like areas where the pencil didn't get all the way, or you're seeing more of the texture. You're seeing that more when you blow it up larger. So whenever, and this doesn't matter what medium you're working on, it's not just a pan pastel thing. It's just that that paper does have more tooth to it, so it's going to be more obvious if you blow it up and look at it in that higher resolution like that. When you put it down to its original size, it should look the same. You're trying to get an 8x10 down to a card, that shouldn't have been a problem. Send it to me. I don't know, do you have time right now? I mean, it's 9:51. Can you email me, lisa@lacree.com? Email me the photo. I want to look at it. I want to see, because I'm making guesses right now. Let me see what's happening. No. Don't do it. Oh, we're going to play peekaboo? Peekaboo. Peekaboo. He actually says peekaboo, but he never says it while we play. I don't know why. I'll hear him in the other room going peekaboo, peekaboo, but he's not. He doesn't do, I'm sorry. Peekaboo. You can't disappoint Loki. Peekaboo. We do this for way too much. Peekaboo. I can't tell you how much time at the vet yesterday while we were waiting for the results of his blood work and poop test. Y'all, they tested your poop. How much time we spent playing peekaboo. Like, makes him happy, so whatever. You going back down there? Don't eat the thing this time. If you go for that again, I'm taking you off of it. You can hang out on the desk or the workbench as long as you're good. Don't eat my cover. Let's see. I'll keep checking my email in case you managed to email me. Don't worry, I'm not going to show anybody. I just want to look at it. Because it would take me too long to pull it up to show anybody. Kathleen had sent me another message. Can you clarify, do you use the watercolor canvas board for oil paints as well as acrylics? No, you can. It's a little bit too smooth for oils. I prefer a little bit more tooth for my oils. You would have, if you're painting in really, really light layers, you'd be fine. But if you paint it on very thick, yeah, it's not the best for oils. Can it be used? Yes, but only with thin layers, like how I paint with acrylics. But if you're doing anything really thick with oils, then you're going to want a canvas that has a bit more tooth. And this is so late in it. I hope you're watching live. So let's see. I'm still checking to see if I got that email. And make sure, by the way, check out our moderators' channels. Links are in the video description. Nick uploads occasionally, not often, but when he does, they're really good information. Joseph and Clark Fine Art both have live streams every week, so you definitely want to check them out. More art live streams. Let me check my spam file. I don't know if you're actually sending that right now or not, but I'm looking just in case. Link. Nope, that's not it. Let's see. There were other things that, scams. There were more scams that were people were getting. I stopped deleting them. I usually delete when people leave scam comments on like Twitter or wherever. I have been leaving them and just leaving a comment, making sure people, pointing out that it's a scam. So you guys can see what those look like and that they're totally normal. But those are always scam posts. So you can definitely, Francis, she's trying to find it, see those. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there was something else I was like, I need to remember to tell them about. I was like, oh no, it won't be a problem. I'll remember. I don't remember. And I think it was a scam story. I can't remember what it was now. No. At least you're not in my ear screaming, so that's a bonus. Let's see. Let me pull up. Somebody had a good point too. Watch when you get the scam things when you're not sure. If you look at their profile account, often the name they're using does not match the URL. So like if you look at my thing, it's like Lisa Lacree or whatever, facebook.com/lisa.lacree or Lisa Lacree or Lacree or something like that, but it goes with my name. A lot of times these scammers, it'll be like the name is a Nigerian name and the name they're using that they're presenting themselves with is like Sarah Smith or Walter Thomas. It's usually for two first names, but you look at the URL that they made and it's like some completely not the same name. So that's also a nice red flag for the scammers, for watching out for that. I'm trying to think. I was so certain I was going to remember the other thing. I knew I should have written it down, but I was like, no, there's no way I'm going to forget. something I wanted to tell you guys about, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'll remember for next week, so not the end of the world, but still. I'm just scrolling through. Let's see. That's going to drive me crazy because I was like, there's no way I'm going to forget what it was that we were going to, you're already ruining, no, get off of there. He's ruining the mat on my art table. It's basically like a big mouse pad that just keeps it clean, so it's not like a big deal that he's eating it. I just don't want it ruined all the way because it's useful. Our baby said, I noticed when I took a photo of my artwork that it really looked like crap on my phone. All the brushstrokes were exaggerated. Exactly, it's pulling out detail that you wouldn't see with the naked eye. It just looked awful. Learned my lesson there. And you know what sucks? That it's so weird with the phones. So if you go back like 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, at that point, the phones weren't great for photographing our work. I was using my DSLR because I could not get good lighting. I couldn't make anything look good, even just for Instagram. I always had to use my DSLR. Then maybe closer to 2015, 2016, 2017, we went through a long period where the photos on our phones were looking really good, and it looked good for that. Now they're getting to where whatever the software is, it's not really so much the lens as much as it is the software that these phones are using. They're hyping up detail that you wouldn't notice with the bare eye, which for a photo of a bird is fine. It looks kind of cool. I've gotten some really neat photos of French fry that way, that you're seeing detail you would not see with the naked eye. Our artwork, we don't want to see what you wouldn't see with a naked eye. That's not, no, that is not okay. So unfortunately, it's like these cameras are trying to be too good, and they're making it's not good for art. And I keep hoping that, because we get a new phone, we're up for a renewal, like the every three-year thing is in May, I think. And I'm like, I know I'll still go with the Samsung, it's not a Note anymore. What do they call it? The Galaxy? I don't know what they call it now. But I know I'll get another one of those because I use the S Pen so much for editing photos and such. But I doubt that there's going to be any improvement there. It just sucks because it used to be so nice to take these great photos of our art. And now it hypes up, it over-exaggerates, like you said, every brushstroke. The lighting's not right. It makes it look more crisp than it looks terrible. I have to go get the DSLR, take a real photo. It's just terrible. Okay, here, I've got an email. Let's see if it's the photo. It looks like it will be. Yep. So yeah, it's just showing the tooth, which is normal. Good job on the art, by the way. At some point when you're working with, now was this more blended out in person? I'm guessing it wasn't quite as grainy. The contrast went up too high. So sometimes if you pull it into Lightroom, if you hype up like clarity, if you hype up some of these things, it'll make your darks a little bit more crisp, and it makes them stand out more, like what you're having here. You're seeing the tooth of the paper. It just makes that too crisp. Lightroom is my favorite app for editing, but you can, obviously that's a paid one because it's Adobe, but there are, I don't know what you can do on the other programs, the free ones. Tone down some of that, mess with the adjustments a bit, and tone down so it's not quite as crisp. Like, I mean, here's a good example. When I really messed up my camera placement. Oh, well, you can see you, so we'll leave it. When I edit my videos, when we used to use lesser cameras, so let's say go back to 2015, the camera that I would use to film myself, I looked a lot younger, not because it was 10 years ago, so there was that too. But as soon as I got the better camera, when I started using the DSLRs for filming, and it looked so much, everything's super crisp, oh my God, hello wrinkles. Like I instantly aged by 10 years. We don't want to see that level of detail. And it's the same with the art. We don't want to see that level of detail where we're seeing all of that. So sometimes, and I have to do this in my videos occasionally, drop down the detail just a little bit. And I'm not talking, 20%. I'm talking 5, like just a little bit. Might soften it out just enough that it looks better. It doesn't look bad to me because I expect that with pan pastels and with the Canson Me 10s. Also, are you working on the rough or the smooth side? So that would be part of it. But again, you're commenting that the photo's the issue, not the original. Yeah, editing may be able to tone that down just a bit, but I'm also not unhappy with the photo. Yes, it's more rough than what your original likely was, but it doesn't look bad either. And we get so picky. I actually read something recently where somebody was saying they won't post any of their images, any photos of their artwork on like any social media platforms because their software does something and the color is never 100% accurate. And if they can't get it accurate, I'm not sharing my work. Well, first off, I'm going to go ahead and guess that you're that worried about the color of your artwork's probably terrible, because the only people who care that much about color are the people who are focusing on the wrong things. So the things that make it good, they are lacking in. But the average viewer is going to see that. It may not look exact like the reference photo, and they're still going to think that's really pretty. The only time that it ends up being a real issue, I think, is for selling the original. So when I've got it available for sale, I want it to look as close to the original as possible. In that case, maybe getting a video of the work in addition to these photos. Make a note. This looks smoother in person. It looks, you can post those, but honestly, most people are probably not going to notice the difference. You and I will notice the difference. We're artists. The average buyer is not going to notice that it's a little bit, oh, when I got it in person, it wasn't so grainy looking. So even that's not that big of a deal. But in that case, if it were me and the photos were coming out like that, a little bit more grainy than I feel the original looked like, I would be taking it into a photo editor and seeing if I can soften it just a little bit, reduce the detail. So try Snapseed. It's a free app. You can get it. It's a Google app. That's one of my favorite photo editors for the phone, but you can try to reduce the detail. There's a setting in there when you go through tools for detail specifically. Try to reduce the sharpness there. That might solve your problem, because you don't want to lose the harshness of your edges where they need to be harsh. We're just trying to soften a little bit where that grain is, and that might solve the problem for you. I would play with that. So, okay, there we go. And Missy said, I know a good photographer that said he would take pictures of my paintings for me at a cost. Of course, I wouldn't do it. I would learn to do it yourself. I absolutely respect photographers. I know we're at 10. We'll wrap this up. 100% respect what they do. But they do not know how to photograph art. That's a whole other thing. They know how to photograph animals or still life. They know how to photograph things like that. Photographing art is such an art in itself. You're paying for someone to take photos of something they probably don't know how to do that well. The only benefit would be like staged photos, like you'll see me do where I put it on a table and have like plant leaves around it or stuff like that. They may be able to get good photos that way. But as far as like just a good photo for making prints, this is something that I feel every single artist should be learning to do on their own. I remember what I was going to talk about. It's in my email. We'll do that next week. But I think that it's something that is so important for you to know how to do yourself, because you can't, who can afford? How many times do you have a new painting or drawing? For me, at least normally once a week, twice a week if we're counting the live streams. I can't afford to continuously, I mean, the time alone, even if I wasn't paying what the photographer would deserve, even if I wasn't paying for that, the time alone to constantly need new photos painted and then them to edit it. I think it is very, very important as artists to learn how to do that on your own. It is one thing to outsource certain things, and I get that. People always talk about with businesses being outsourcing. This is not one. I think photographing your artwork is part of that process, because you know what your art looked like. So you're in there editing. The photographer's like, yeah, this looks better. I'm going to hype up the contrast. That may not be what the original looked like. When he goes home and edits those photos, he does not have the original with him. He is not going to have it look exactly like it. Whereas you have that original sitting right here next to your computer, and you're looking at it going, okay, a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, to make it look as exact to the reference as possible. That is 100% something you need to learn how to do on your own. I do not recommend paying for it. I would take that money and buy a camera. You don't have to get super expensive. I mean, under $1,000 is going to get you a decent camera and a decent lens for making really big, really good prints. I know, under $1,000, like that's just, drop, like that's no big deal. I was going to say a drop in the bucket, but I don't know if that's what the saying is, or even if that it would apply in this situation. I feel like it should, but I don't know. So, but I get it. That's a lot of money, and you can go less than that. I think my first one was like $600 or $700 kit, and it was decent. You may be able to get a used DSLR. Look for that. Save up. Put your money towards that, not towards the photographer, because you get that one camera. That camera is going to last you. They last a long, long time. That is going to last you. You don't need to keep updating. Like we keep having to get new phones, the updated phones. We're not going to have to keep doing that with a camera. Get one camera, get one decent lens, one decent camera, and a DSLR, and learn how to get good photos yourself. Learn how to get the right lighting. Like my friend Michael and he's the most amazing photographer. I love, love, love his work. But he would comment, and he's like, "Oh, I can take photos of it, of the stuff," and it's like you probably can't. As good as he is, he's not going to know how to avoid glare on a canvas. how to get the perfect, because we have to be straight on. You can't be at an angle. An animal, I can take a photo of him. What are you doing? I can take a photo of him from here, from here, from here, from here, from here. All I have to worry about is the lighting. Good lighting, you know, some interesting angles. Canvas, you have to be completely square and avoid the glare. And it's a whole other, and I have videos talking about how to do this. It's a whole art in itself, and there are not that many photographers who know how to do that. There's just no benefit to you not learning how. Like, it really is the way that you want to go. Put the money you would put towards the photographer on the camera, you know, save up and get that camera. That is really, really how you want to do that. Brittany said, I recommend a KEH camera in Georgia. I recommend KEH camera in Georgia that has a website and sells used cameras at different grade levels. There you go. I would check that out. So if they have a website and they're selling online, KEH camera, I would definitely check them out. And used cameras, there is nothing wrong with used cameras. There are not very many things in this world I would get used. A camera is one I would consider, because people get rid of perfectly good cameras because they want the newest model. The old model's just fine. That it's not like I can't think of an example. You were used. We got you secondhand. He is a good buy. It's not like you used something that you don't want used. He agrees. So anyway, definitely one thing I would look at. So we're going to wrap this up. I talked too long. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. Check out our moderators' channels. Thank you for the super chats. And I will see you guys. I don't know what we're doing next week yet. I'm going through the list of things you guys suggested on Facebook and Instagram. So let's see, Unicorn Art, do you have your camera clean, maintained? I should, but I never have. Do you do it yourself? I should, but I never have. Or do you find that it isn't needed? It's never affected the results I got. And I've had, like, my one camera, one of them I got in 2014 or 2015, and then the other one, when did I get that one? My newer one, 2017, I don't know. I don't even remember. I've never cleaned them. I'm sure they really need it, but I've not done it. So it's not something you really have to do all the time. Anyway, I'll talk. Any good camera person is cringing at me right now. I'm not a photographer, but I can get photos of my artwork. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.